Hello, value family. You're welcome back to my channel. In today's recipe, I'm going to share with you on how to bake meat pies with your pot. If you don't have an oven, this recipe is for you. I'm going to show you the simple way you can just make meat pies like this without your oven. First of all, let's just make the meat pie filling. Into your pot now or your pan, you're going to heat up your vegetable oil. Go in first with your chopped onions. You're going to allow this to fry till it is translucent. Let it just release all its flavor for you into this oil. And for my beef, I just bought the regular beef from the market and I use my food processor to grind it. But if you can get the ready grounded beef, check for those ones in the supermarket. That's the freezer of the supermarket. You can get those ones. But for this, I just bought the beef and I use my food processor to grind it, like I said. So add in your ground beef. At this point, you're just going to fry this. Allow this to change color from this bright color to a darker shade. That way, you know that your beef is well fried. So I'm just allowing this to fry in these onions. It's just going to give it flavor. Go in now and add in about 1 teaspoon of thyme, adding half a teaspoon of salt. Please just go in easy with the salt at this stage because I'm still going to season this beef and you don't want your sauce to be very salty. Just half a teaspoon of salt is
So fry
okay.
these. Once the color changes like this is the time for you to introduce your carrot. For the carrot, make sure you just scrape the back and cut it into these tiny bits like this. You're going to fry your carrot first. Just as stir this is also going to add to the flavors of your pie. It's very important. Just fry the carrot, allow this to fry for a bit before you add in your cut Irish potatoes. I would have showed you guys the preparative stage on how I cut my vegetables, but I don't want this video to be too long, so I decided to do those ones off camera. So just cut your Irish potatoes just the same way you cut your carrot. You can see how it's looking. So I'm just going to stir this all together. This is the time for you to season this.
So I'll add in my seasoning powder and that is it, guys. You don't need to do too much for this because once you over spice this, it's going to just go out from this natural taste of the pie to taste like something else. Hope you understand what I mean. So I'm just going to add in water. The water is just going to ensure that this is cooked properly. You want your Irish potatoes, your beef, everything to cook properly, but don't add too much water. The water should just be on the same level with everything you have in your pot. So stir this all together. You're going to cover up your pot and allow this to cook. Some minutes later, this is the time for us to check on our filling and it is ready. You're just going to stir everything all together, taste, adjust if necessary. But if there is no need, this is the time for you to just thicken this up. And to thicken this up, I'll be adding in about 1 tablespoon of corn flour and that is it. Just 1 tablespoon of corn flour is okay. I'll stir this together and the corn flour is just going to bind all this together. You can do this when it's still on fire, when it's still very hot. On the alternative, you can just mix your corn flour with water so you don't have any lump. If you cannot go through this route, you can just mix your corn flour with some water, add it in. You're still going to thicken up the sauce, but you can add your corn flour when what you're cooking is still very hot. Stir it very well all together. It's not going to form any lumps like this. So I'm just stirring it together and it's just binding it. And after a minute or two, this should be ready. At least the corn flour should be cooked. It won't have this raw taste in your meat pie filling, and that is what you are aiming for. Take a look at this, guys. This looks so good already. This can even serve as a meal on its own, but that is not what we are going for. You are just going to allow this to cool because you won't be using it very hot in your meat pie dough. So we are going to allow this to cool, and while that is cooling, we'll proceed now to make our meat pie dough. To get the perfect flaky dough is always the ratio of 2 to 1. So for 500 grams of all-purpose flour, we'll be using 250 grams of butter and it's that easy. So into the bowl, I added in 4 cups of all-purpose flour or 500 grams of flour, depending on the one you want to use, adding a teaspoon of salt and go in with your 250 grams of butter or margarine. And I'm using the Siemens butter for this, so add it in and mix. See, the sachet butter, the sachet margarine we have in Nigeria here, you know it's 250 grams of butter, right? Just add in 4 cups of flour and 1 cup of very cold water. The water should be very cold. The coldness of the water is just going to make your dough very flaky. You're going to mix this all together. You'll be tempted to add in more water. Please do not add in more water. Instead, you can just transfer your dough to your work surface and you'll be able to bind it very easily. I can't really get my hand into the bowl easily. So just transfer this to your work surface, transfer everything like I'm doing, and in no time you'll be able to bind this all together. And that is how to make your dough. And if you are not using your dough immediately, you can just put it inside the freezer. The more it stays, the more flaky your dough is going to come out. This is a proven secret that have always worked for me. So I'm sharing it here with you guys. So this is what it looks like after mixing. So I'm just going to cut this and we'll start rolling. So you're going to bring out your rolling pin and just roll this. Just watch as I'm doing. So after rolling it out in such a way, you can cut out a round shape from it like this. Get your meat pie cutter and cut this right in. And one thing you should know that you shouldn't roll your dough to be very flat, and it should not be too thick. It should just be somewhere in between, just like this. So place the already cut out dough on top of the meat pie cutter. Take out the filling. You can see how our filling is looking like. Put these directly in the middle of the already cut dough, just like this. And you're going to get your egg, crack your egg, whisk it. That egg, you are going to brush it at the edges of this dough. This is going to ensure that this binds very well and is properly sealed so that it does not open when that is in the oven or on fire. So I'm just going to cover it up. Just apply a little pressure, just a little pressure, and that is it. You're going to open it up, and this is how to get your own meat pie. You can see it's properly sealed, it's filled up, it's not overspilling. Just make sure to eyeball it. You can use your sense to do that one, right? All right, guys, I'm going to do this one more time for you. But if you don't have a meat pie cutter, what will you do? Just take out any round shape object at all, just cut into it the same way we used with our meat pie cutter. What you're going to do is for you to just place your meat pie filling by the side, not in the middle. Place it by the side. Take the other side to meet the meat pie, to meet the pie rather, and you're going to use your fork and hold the edges. That is if you are not using a meat pie cutter. But if you're using a meat pie cutter, just follow this process. Once you place it in, you can just use your hands to just get the dough to get to the edges. Place your filling in the middle, just the same way we did. This is just a repetition, right? Just watch this, just the same way. Is that easy? You can do that. Yes, you can do that. Even though you are new to baking, you can do it. It's very easy. Just do this, and you are going to get yourself a perfectly shaped meat pie that will turn out so nice. So, after that, apply a little pressure, like I say, and we are good to go, guys. This is ready. If there is any extra, you're just going to take this off, open it up, and you have your meat pie. So right now I'm going to show you guys how to bake this without your oven. So what you're going to do now is to bring out your pot, any pot at all we serve. The last time I used a non-stick pot for my cookies, and someone was asking me, what if you don't have a non-stick pot? Don't worry, I've got you covered. Just take your aluminum pot if it's what you have, just like this. What you're going to do now, I don't like the sand method. I just feel that is a lot. Just take your foil, fold it and place into the pot. We are going to layer about 3 sheets of foil into this. Just cut out another one, place it, and the last one is now the ones we are going to place our meat pie directly on. You don't want this to be directly on the pot. You just want to give it that little distance with the fire so that this can actually bake properly. If you put it directly, it will just get done fast. Only underneath will be done, and the top of it won't cook, and you won't like that. So you are giving it that little distance to just create, allow the heat to really go around. So now I'm going to place the meat pies into this. Just brush the top of your meat pie with the remaining egg so it will have that shiny look when it is ready. So this is what I'm doing. Just brush it with some egg. That's the remaining eggs that we mix. So just brush it on top of it. Use your fork and just create that hole on top of it. You will see how I did that. Just use your fork, just put that hole to enable the air penetrate inside well, and this will cook evenly, and it will come out very nice. So I'm just going to use my fork and just create this. Yes, this is all set now. So just proceed now. Don't do any other thing. Just cover up your pots. This cover is very tight, like it is tightly covered. So you're not going to place anything on top, nothing at all. Just cover up your pot and place this on low heat, please. If you cook on low heat, don't be in a hurry. And this is what you have. Just to add, I used the smallest burner in my gas to make this, and this was made on low heat so that the heat can distribute evenly and your pies will be properly done. Just like this, you can see the top was also perfectly baked. There was no need for you to flip the pie for the top to cook, and this is what it looks like. It was baked to perfection. The edges is from the egg wash. This was still very hot for me to hold for long, but I'm still going to show you guys how it turned out. This was perfectly baked, and the back, it was not burnt at all. So guys, I'm just going to open this up and you're going to see. This is an easy way for you to make your meat pie retard oven. Please don't come and ask me, can you use paper? Please use foil for this. Foil is just going to withstand the heat and allow this to properly bake without burning. And the rest of the pie, I baked them. We are going to do comparison. This is the one I baked in my oven, and these are the ones that came out from the pot. Guys, any difference? I think you can judge that. But this turned out so good. And if I don't tell you self, how will you know? Tell me, will you? You can't at all. The taste is the same, and this is so good. At least now you don't have an excuse why you can't make your own meat pies at home. You can see it is that easy. If you have watched this video to this point, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you have like videos like this, just consider subscribing to our channel. We share recipes that you find very helpful. Thank you guys for the love, for the support. I'll see you guys in another video. Have a nice day and enjoy.